What's up, guys? Welcome to Operation B, the podcast. I am your host, Jamie Thurber, and I am here to take you on a journey of deepening, of expansion, of understanding more about who you are and why you're here and how to operate in an optimal way that allows you to do what you want to do, feel how you want to feel, take care of yourself truly, and support everything that your heart desires. Welcome back to the show. So I wanted to today talk a little bit more about the doing more things without hurting yourself, because here's what I have come to find out. A lot of people that I run into that are hyper productive creatures like me, not all of them are this way, but a lot of them, it seems that the more depth I get into their story and into their mindsets and things like that, a lot of them are doing it for not always the most healthy reasons. So what I mean when I say that is they're doing it to hide something or to cover up having to face something, or because it's what's quote unquote expected of them, right? So what that means is it seems that a lot of my most hyper productive friends or acquaintances or whoever started becoming that way out of necessity, right? So we become that way because it allows us to function. It allows us to show up in a way that we feel good about. It allows us to not have to worry about, like for me, I did it as a way to avoid feeling the frustration and the discomfort in my body that I couldn't figure out what to do with. And everybody I would talk to, doctors and such, like, they had no feedback on what I needed to do or could do. So what did I do instead? I just did a lot of work, guys. Like I was like, okay, well, this is something I can control, right? I can control the amount of work that I do or how good I am at my work, because I can't control how shitty my body feels. Some people do it because they can't control how their relationship is going or how their home life is going or how things are going financially. So they hyper work because it's a place they can control. It's a place that you can find solace in, that you can find self-confidence in, that you can find satisfaction in, right? So it's not always the best thing. And the thing that I've had to focus on the last 2 years especially has been slowing down and knowing that I don't have to operate that way. And then the other side of that has been like the really struggly part, or part that I guess I didn't expect to be struggly, that has been struggly, is the going back to do more without going back to that old mindset or without ignoring my body again like I did before. So I've told you guys a story about when I decided I drove back from Utah to Missouri. For those who don't know, I live in like right outside St. Louis. And so I drove 19 hours versus putting my body back on an airplane because I got so sick in the elevation and the travel. My body was just like shot. And I have put it through so much over the years that it's very unfair, the amount of, sorry, look, that's going to turn into a choking hazard while we're talking. So those of you who are listening, I just stole a tennis ball out of Frankie's mouth because she started to pull all the fuzz off of it. So that's fun. So I was coming back from Utah and I had to figure out how I was going to keep the promise. Like I did that because I needed to keep a promise I made to myself, which was I was not going to put my body through that hell anymore, because I had put it through so much. I had forced it to do so many things, and then I would fall down and crash for days and days and days. And in that very moment, I could just feel in my bones that it would be a really terrible move on my behalf to put myself back on an airplane. And I just couldn't do that to myself. So I didn't. I drove home. And that was a massive moment for me. And in the moments that I feel like I want to push myself further than I know I should, I remember that moment. And I'm like, no, you drove home 19 hours. I mean, I did it in 3 days by myself. But I drove home versus put my body back on an airplane because I took that commitment and promise I made to my system that seriously, that I wouldn't put it through that anymore. And so with that being said, I have to remember that moment often when I want to do too much or when I find myself feeling stressed. And the thing I've been noticing lately when I get stressed is my eyeballs are affected, which is new. So one day I got so much shitty news and like freaked out news in like a 12-hour period that my eye twitched for like 48 hours straight. And honestly, when it started twitching, I just started laughing because I was like, nah, well, that's funny. Okay. And I handled the stress in the situation like very well, because it kind of like what I notice a lot, especially with business stress, is in a lot of cases, it just fucking is what it is, right? And so you have to approach it that way and be strategic and problem solving mindset, not like pitiful me, oh my gosh, this is so stressful, what am I going to do mindset? Because at the end of the day, I'm a figure outer, and that's why I'm able to do what I do, right? So as I noticed that and learned that, I was able to recognize it's a superpower, but only in situations where it's not hurting me. And so then the other thing I noticed like a week or two later after my eye stopped twitching was like, if I do a lot during the day now, my eye, like my one eye like moves. You can't see it, but I can see it. So I'm like, okay, it's time to be done now. So all of that to say that when you make this commitment not to hurt yourself anymore, not to go in a direction that you know is going to end badly anymore, then you have to like honor that. Because when you make promises to yourself and you don't honor them, what you're doing is telling yourself you're full of shit. So if like you don't believe you, then why should anybody else believe you? And think about the toll that takes on your own self-confidence, on your own inner talk. It takes a toll on your body and on your self-confidence more than anything, your inner voice, your inner world, when you're not willing to follow through with the shit that you say you're going to do. Like, it's just the truth. So how do you do that without going back into hyper-productive mode and ignoring your own basic human needs? Because here's the thing, some of you will listen to this and say, I do not comprehend. I do not relate. I do not understand how people workity work, don't drink any water, don't eat any food, and then the day goes by and all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, I haven't eaten all day, or oh, I forgot, or blah, blah, blah. I have people like, I never forget to eat. And I'm like, well, here's the deal. I used to feel like that was like a weird thing about me, but the more I talk about it, the more I learn that I am not alone. There is a lot of people, especially women, who have massive aversions to food when their body goes into what we know as fight or flight mode. So when you go into fight or flight mode, your body often goes into freeze status, which means that you just start going through the motions. You're in disassociation. So you're not feeling the hunger cues. You're not stopping to eat. And even if you do feel the hunger cues, everything that is potentially there to eat makes you want to throw up. It is all makes you nauseous. This is very, very common. So I have many friends and many clients that the conversation around food is, did you eat today? Oh, you feel depressed and anxious? Well, no friggin' wonder that you do, because you've not fed your body food today, right? So this is a thing, guys. This is an ongoing thing. So how do we start to do more without these old habits, right? These old habits of not eating, not listening, not moving, doing so much that your body feels like it's going to explode. How do we prevent ourselves from doing those things again? Well, we practice. We practice the pause is the main one. You practice feeling your legs. Are they there? Can you feel them? Touch your legs. Can you feel them? Touch your legs. Guess what that does? Brings you back into the moment right now. Because if you weren't in the moment right now, you couldn't feel your legs. Stop for a moment and think about where you feel gravity making your body come in contact with things like the floor and your feet, your arm and the armrest, your butt and the seat, your back of your legs and the seat. That's gravity. The hair touching your face, gravity. The shirt laying, on your body, gravity, right? So all of those things, when you can bring yourself to those moments, that will help you stop overdoing it. Also, giving yourself permission to know that perfection is not a thing and that you are not going, first of all, there is no scorecard. No one is saying, oh, you win an award because you did more things today. Like, not in a way that where you're also hurting yourself because it's not worth it. So you have to create a rule book, or not a rule book, but a guideline maybe inside yourself that says, okay, this is fine. It's okay if I didn't accomplish quote unquote thing. Something that also really happened, that's probably going to blow your freaking minds, is I don't make a lot of lists anymore, guys. Because if I make the lists a lot of times, then I feel the pressure to finish the lists. I put stuff in Asana, which is the project management system I use, and we'll link it below if it's something you want to try out. I've been using it for almost 10 years and I love it. I just put our whole production team from the podcast company in there. Um, it's just a nice thing to keep track of tasks and deadlines and stuff. But first comes to my personal tasks, like I write down things for the business so I don't, the podcast business, so I don't forget. But my company and my life I've been doing for so long that I don't write lists very much anymore because I know what I need to do. Those lists were me hyper controlling myself and micromanaging myself in a way that was so not healthy. So by, again, back to doing what you say you're going to do, by trusting that I'm going to listen to my body, but also trusting that I'm going to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. And if that means one of the days that something needs to be done, I am puking or feel like crap, then guess what I do? I own it. I call the person who's waiting on the thing from me, or I don't call them. That's not true. I send them text messages. I'm much more of a texter. If a call is warranted, I'll make it, but I send the text message and say, hey, I am not okay today. I need a day or so. Like, I'm not going to be the right person that you need at the moment. I'm just honest about it. And then it takes the pressure off so much when you're just honest. Because here's the deal. If somebody wants to be shitty with you about the fact that you're sick and you can't do the thing, or you are overwhelmed, or your day got switched, blah, 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 like, they might be irritated, and that's fine. They're allowed to be. But you literally cannot break off you can't create more of something that doesn't exist, which is time and ability. But when you start to adopt this trust in yourself that you're going to do what needs to be done without hurting you, you get things done that need to be done without hurting you. You're not walking around constantly questioning yourself because, oh crap, are they going to find out that I didn't do what I said I was going to do? Like, that in itself is like, holy moly, what a mind fuck that is, guys. Like, what a mind fuck. Like, that in itself is wild. It's like, you can't do that to yourself, because when you do, what happens is you are constantly playing this catch-up game, this pretend game with self that's going to keep you in that frozen zone, in the I gotta do more, because my doing more is attached to my validity as a human being. And if I don't look like I'm doing a lot, then I'm not valuable. Well, two things happen there. One, that's bullshit, and you don't actually get the lot done anyway. And then you go home and you feel empty because you didn't do the stuff you said you needed to do, and nothing's actually happening. And then your body's mad at you at the same time. At the same time, then you're trying to keep up with the Joneses because you have to keep up appearances for all the things you said you were going to do that you didn't do. The slowdown, the analysis of the stuff that needs to be handled, and the trust in yourself is going to be the game changer for you. I use Alexa a lot. Alexa, did you hear that? She heard it. Damn it. Oh, good. Okay. I use her a lot. I use alarms on my phone a lot. People know it. Everybody at the studio knows it. They'll hear my phone going off and I'm like, time for a meeting. Where's my next meeting? Time for a show. Oh, we got to make sure the show's filming on time. And in my household, they go off to remind me when I need to get ready. They remind me when I need to go leave the house. I have her remind me things. Here's the thing. If you set up your Echo or whatever it is device you use from Amazon, you can set it up where it text messages you the reminder every time that the robot gives you a reminder. So I have reminders go off at home when I'm not here during the day because it sends me a text and I remember. I'm like, oh yeah, like I said one that said, hey, remind me tomorrow at 10 a.m. that Tony needs to go pick up his shirt from the tailor. So at 10 a.m., I was somewhere else. I got a text message from my robot telling me Tony needs to go to the tailor. So then I stopped, called Tony, hey, buddy, don't forget, you need to go to the tailor, okay? And he's like, all right, I'm on my way right now. Perfect. That is how I stay on top of things. In the morning time, I look at my schedule. Sometimes I do it at night before bed, depending on like if I have to be up by a certain time, which I'm usually awake anyways at 6 a.m. no matter what these days. But I will decide, I'll say on there, okay, say I get up at 7, I need to leave the house by 8:30, or I get up at 6, I need to leave the house by 8:30. Like I'm going to look at that and say 7 o'clock, make sure you eat breakfast. 7:45, make sure you get ready. And then my alarm goes off at 8:20. It's time to leave. 8:20, time to leave. And I have one that does the same thing when I'm at the studio so that I go home. Otherwise, I'll stay there all day and then it ruins my ability to be. So then the doing like pops a big freaking water balloon on the fire of the being and it's just this whole stupid mess, right? So use tools. Guys, like I get an exceptionally large amount of things done in a day. I manage an obnoxiously large amount of things. Still, again, I guess is maybe what I should say. Again, in a way that doesn't panic me, in a way that does not hurt my body, in a way where I come home sometimes, where I'm at the end of the day and I'm like, wow, there are still 17 things that need to happen. And I take an evaluation. Do I need to take a 10-minute break or a 20-minute break and then spend an hour getting those things done? Or can I be done and do it in the morning or whatever? You just have to be freaking honest with yourself and you also have to be present. End of the day, I think every single thing I've ever discussed ever in life on this entire show, even before we changed the name, even when it was lifestyle creation, every single thing requires you to be present. Every one of them. If you cannot master being present, go back to the drawing board, go back to the episodes, scroll through, go onto my website. I have blogs and free downloads and everything you could possibly need about learning to be present. They're on my YouTube channel, everywhere. If you cannot slow down and learn how to be in the present moment, none of this stuff fucking matters to you. There's just the truth. Like you're going to keep torturing yourself if you cannot learn to be in the room. And it's hard and it's scary when you're sick, when your body's doing things that you can't control, when your life feels out of control, when your life feels sad, when you have big emotions, when you're not happy with yourself or you're not whatever. Being present is scary. And it's the only thing that's going to get you out of that mess. It's the only thing. You will stay in that hole until you learn how to be in the present moment and be able to look in the now, not in the what was or what the might be. In the right this moment, what's in front of you? In front of me is this beautiful blue cup that Tony bought me. Is this microphone that actually Christian, his son, bought me for a Christmas present because he's a glorious human who paid attention and bought me something that matters to me. I have this. It's made of clay. And this is Carowin. She's a goddess, a Celtic goddess. I have this beautiful thing that I got at Maryville in Texas, which means a lot to me. I have a thing that says, be the change you wish to see in the world. I have a cute post-it note from my beautiful cousin Casey, who helped me organize my office and left me a sweet note on my desk. So now it lives on my monitor because it makes me happy. I have this tennis ball that Frankie ate part of. I have this squeaky ball because it's very loud and I don't want to hear it squeak. There's 1,000 other things on my desk, right? But it's in front of me and I do this on purpose. I oftentimes will have a candle burning in here. I'll have or incense burning, like things that keep me in the now. That's what those alarms do too. I have alarms that go off my phone on days I know I'm not going to be home. I'm going to be out and about that say, Jamie, you are a priority. Or Jamie, take a breath. Because it's very easy to get so caught up in whatever you're doing that you forget that you're a human being living in the world and there are things happening that you need to be present for. Especially when you're a hyperproductive human. Or you have avoidant patterns. That too. Friends, 2 things. Rest is not lazy. If you're looking at the video, here's my shirt. Rest is not lazy. And we love it. We are here for it. And we need to launch this brand, y'all. I've had it ready for freaking months. So we're going to do that actually. I'm going to launch it, put it in the links below, and you guys can check it out. I have several different t-shirt options. I have hoodies, I have long sleeves, and I have a dad hat that's very cute. I gave one of them to my friend Ashley Malin, and she's so cute in hats off to see if she can get a picture, because I'm not a hat wearer with my short hair, friends. I look like a boy. So anyways, friends, I hope this was helpful. Please go do yourself a favor, use alarms, look up being present. Let that be the one thing you focus on, if nothing else, is being in the now and catching your thoughts when you're thinking about what might have been or what was, because those are not the places where you will grow. Those are not the places where you will ground. Those are not the places where you will be. So we'll end it on that, because I want you to learn how to be more often, to be while you're doing. Because if you're doing and not being, it's not going to go well. It will eventually demolish you. But if you're being in the now, in your body, in the present moment headspace. So anyway, we're going to go figure that out. I hope you have an excellent rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you for being here. As always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share this with someone that you think will benefit from it. And leave us a comment, leave us a review. We appreciate you for being here, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Operation B, the podcast. To support this message and to support the show, please make sure that you like, follow, and share the podcast wherever you enjoy listening. And be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.